Well, hello, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. In the last video when I was doing the van build, I promised that I would actually get some doors fitted. I'm going to give you doors, but today's video is going to be a little bit difficult to produce because the great British weather has done its usual thing. I think we've had summer and we've now got rain. So as you can see, I'm actually sat inside the van. It's getting to a point now where I actually can sit inside and do a bit of filming, so that's really quite good. I've even got a bit of artificial light set up already, so that's good. Now I've done a couple of doors already because, like I said, it's going to be really difficult to try and film this because everything's going to get soaked, so I'm going to have to keep the van pretty closed up, and I'm working under a small shelter. But I'm going to talk you through the process that I've done. I've got one door left to do, so I'm just going to take that door off because it's been dry fitted, and then we'll get into the makeshift workshop and I'll talk you through the catches, what I'm using, and how I'm going to get this door fitted to the van. So I'll be back with you in a couple seconds in the workshop. So I marked the door up inside the van so it's just easier to transfer the dimensions when I'm actually going to drill it. So I'm still out inside of the porch, at least it's dry here at the moment. Now I've bought these catches, push button catches. They're used in a lot of caravans, camper vans, you know, RVs, etc., and they work really well. They're very simple. They're surface mount, so you don't have to be using a router or anything like that to fit them to the door, and it simply works at one push and the catch extends, and then another push and it retracts, and that becomes a handle that you can then use to open the door with. Now these were relatively cheap. I'm just hoping that they're going to be of a good enough quality to actually do what I need them to do. They look okay, but I've got my doubts, shall we say, for the long term, but time will tell with that one. So I'm going to get this set up on the door now, mark out the positions where I think everything needs to go, and when I've done that I can mark up the holes, center this up, do some drilling, and I'll explain to you what I'm going to do with that in a moment after I've marked this up. Now the instructions that came with the catches said that you needed to use a 20mm hose saw or spade cutter. So I've got this 20mm one. To be honest, I haven't spent a huge amount of money on the tooling that I'm used, so it's probably my own fault. But what I find is that although the bezel is supposed to be a push fit, it's a little bit big. It cuts a little bit bigger. It might be to do with the way that I'm using the tool, but it's not a real problem. The other doors that I've done, I've bonded the bezel in with a little bit of contact adhesive and it's worked absolutely fine, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. So let's get this drilled, and then we'll see exactly where we are, and I'll show you how I attach the catch to the door. Then we just got to fit it back up in the van, and job should be a good one then. Now these catches are designed to actually fit flush on the back side of the board that you're using, or the door should I say, but there is a slight problem. The way that I've got it set up in the van and using this door on my 2020 profile, it doesn't fit exactly if I do that. For searching around what I had around me, I couldn't find the exact right size thickness of wood to use to make the catch, because I wanted the backstop for the door to stop it going in too far and the catch to be the same piece, so that it all sandwiches together nice and tightly, so that when we're driving down the road that door is not rattling against either one of them. So the only way that I could find to actually fit it was to put two washers underneath the catch where I mount them to it. It seems to be working relatively well. The only problem, of course, is that it reduces the strength and the rigidity of the way that that catch works. So it might be something I look at in a future improvement to the van, just to see if I can get something a bit thinner and a bit better that'll actually mean I can take those washers out. And if I can do that, then it'll be absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to fit this now. It's just a case of offering up about a 2mm, 3mm drill to the holes, making some points where they're going to start them, and then there's some self-tappers that come with the kit for fitting the hinges. I can screw those in place, and then we're going to fit the door back in the van. Oh, it's looking a bit brighter outside. You never know, your luck, it might clear up a bit. I haven't got a clue how I'm going to manage to film this. As I'm putting the van together, it's getting smaller and smaller and tighter spaces to put things together. but we'll give it a go anyway. So I've got the door inside the van with me. All it needs now is to bolt the door back into position. Now, the way that I'm fixing the doors onto the van is really simple. I've got the surface mounted hinges. They're also bought from the same company where I get the 2020 profile from, so they work really well with that system. I've drilled the holes in the door already, straight through, so basically, rather than worry about putting small self tappers in, because they're quite small screws and hinges, I was a little bit worried that actually it wasn't going to have the strength. So what I opted to do was to drill straight the way through. And by doing it that way, I should get a good sort of purchase on it, some good strength. So no time to waste, let's get this fitted. So just another 3 more to go like that, and then we're all finished, door fitted. Okay, I'm going to crack on with this. Well, there you have it, completed, finished, working cupboard doors. I'm really pleased with that. I've got one more door left to fit. But I've got to buy the door first because it was kind of the prototype experiment door and it didn't really go well. So I've got to order that one up and get that one fitted, and that will complete the full set of doors. So I'm really pleased with the way that it's gone. A few of them fit a little bit tight, but that's one of the issues that you have when you buy things online, when you have to measure it, cut it, get it to size. So I might do a little bit of tweaking with some of the positions of some of the rails, some of the 2020 sections, and just see if I can make them fit a little bit smoother rather than drag. But having said that, a good tap around and they're all fitting really well. There's no rattles, and of course when I'm driving down the road I want as minimum rattles as possible. Sure, we're in a camper van, we're going to have a bit of cutlery, some pots and pans and things moving about, but the more I can sort of deaden that down, it'll make the journeys through the country lanes and the motorways a lot more enjoyable and comfortable. So we've got a lot more left to do today, so stick with me because I'm not sure how far we're going to get, but we've got to take the worktop back out because we've got to fit it. So I've taken the worktop back out of the van. There really wasn't room to set the camera up inside the van and manoeuvre this big lump of wood back out at the same time, so I didn't actually film it. But it, you know, you've seen me put it in. It was just a matter of loosening off some fastening bolts, taking out and putting it back in location. Now I got some speaker grills and I marked up inside the van roughly where the speaker was going to go, where it was going to fit, and I bought these grills a couple of weeks ago now, ordered them, they eventually turned up. Partly why I forgot to do it originally was the fact that they hadn't arrived, but now they have arrived. I kind of wish they hadn't because they're not particularly great quality. There's a few marks and digs on them, to be honest, in the way that they've been packaged, and I'm not altogether happy with that. And to be honest, they're way too big as well. So what I've done is I've marked up on the worktop where we're going to cut the hole out for the speaker grill to go. I'm going to drill those holes and then we'll chase that sort of small section out with the jigsaw and put these in place. What I think I'm going to do is when I refit the worktop, I'm actually going to just put them in place with maybe some quick little velcro tabs or some self-adhesive tape. Just hold it in place and not drill it yet, and then I can maybe order up something which is going to work a little bit better, maybe a little bit better quality. We'll just have to see what's around, what's out there on the market and what I can find. So I'm not quite ready to put the worktop back yet. I've also got the jigsaw out and the worktops out in the van. There's some other bits and pieces that I want to get fitted. And one of those is actually looking at the seat back for the tailgate seat. Because with the worktop in place, I need a little notch cut out around it so that it'll fit into position. So I'm going to get a few of those other little jobs done now. I also need to make a little bit of a change to the inside of the van where the waste pipes go and the freshwater pipes, just to make access a little bit easier. So I'm going to get those few little jobs done, and then we can get this put back in position. So that's the worktop back in, bolted down. The hole that I've cut in the worktop for the speaker grill fits perfectly. It's exactly the right place. So I think I'm going to put these speaker grills down in position. But like I said, I don't think I'm going to fix it down permanently. I'm going to put it down there so that it can just sit in that location and put it on a bit of double-sided tape or a bit of, I don't know, light contact adhesive or something. Just something which will peel up and come up really, really easy and hold it in position. Now there's something else that's been bothering me as well. And it's how I'm going to finish off the edge where I've had to cut the worktop in around by the window. And I decided last week that that I needed some kind of cover strip or something to go along there, or something just to finish it off. And I didn't want, I don't know, it's difficult. I didn't want to try and fill it with sealant because that would look messy and it's permanent as well. And I wanted something which I could probably easily take in and out and remove. And I had an idea. Rope. I think I've seen it done somewhere before. I can't remember where it was. I think I've seen people do it along their headlinings before, when they've put wooden headlinings up in van conversions. And I thought, why not? Let's get some rope and put it along the edge. So I've got some fairly chunky rope, some 24mm. It's black. I probably didn't need nothing quite as big as this, to be honest, but it's what I've got now, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get that put in place roughly. But before I do that, I want to put the window nighttime sort of screen up there, because I want the curtain. So I've actually decided to use some small little strips of Velcro and just see if I can use that to hold things in place where it needs to go. So we're going to give that a go and just see what happens. It's worked to hold down this little speaker grill, so I think we'll just see how it works out really from there. So that's a few tiny strips of it. I don't know how it's going to stick to the rope, that's the only thing. But I guess we're about to find out. So far so good. Let's get some more bits. Well, that seems to have worked. We'll have to see how if it stays there long term or not. It might need to we might need to put something else there, but we'll get some more bits into this corner here around the edge. We'll see how we go. Right. Well, that's been a really busy but successful weekend. This has gone really, really well. I'm quite pleased with the progress that I've made. So now we've actually completed the worktop and the cupboard unit completely. We've got the doors in place, the catches in place, speaker grill in place, rope edging to finish off around the edge of the worktop, so that hasn't got to come out again. I've cut out for the backrest. The backrest sits back exactly where it needs to go. I've put in the tie downs for the waste and freshwater containers. That's all done. Whether or not I'm going to get any more done today or not, I don't know, because it's starting to rain quite heavily again. So until next time, bye for now. Enjoy your own photography and also enjoy your van building. See you guys later on.